Hello there and welcome back to part 2 video of this circle. This is Sachin sir and we are going to solve exercise number 42, in which question number 1, which is there on your screen, was already solved. Only last question was remaining, and here we go with the fourth question of it on the screen. The question says the value of circumference is given to us, that is 72.6, and I need to find diameter and the radius of it. Okay, the way I told you, whenever circumference is given, very first step you find the diameter because it becomes easier to find it, and then proceed for radius. So here we go with the formula for circumference. Formula is C equals to pi d. Substitute the value in it. Of course, C is nothing but 72.6. Value of a pi is 22 upon 7, and d I need to find. After this, the way I informed you about the shifting and moving of the numbers from one side of the equality to the other, we are going to write 72.6 and d as it is, the way you are looking on the screen. After that, that 7 which is there in the denominator, okay, on the RHS, will be shifted to the other side in the multiplication, that is multiplication with 72.6, and 22 which is in the numerator will go to the denominator, and as a result we get 72.6 into 7 the whole upon 22 equals to diameter. After this, time to do the division, right? We will divide 72.6 by 22, and here is the table of 22 for the convenience. After this, yes, 22 being divisor will be written outside, 72.6 will be inside. Then the first two numbers of 72.6, which are those? Yes, 72, and in 22's table we don't have 72, but nearest to it is what? 3s are 66. So 3 in the quotient, 66 will be subtracted. As a result we get 6 as a remainder, right? After point we have 6 again. The moment you take down that 6, that is after the point, we have to give point in the quotient also, correct? That makes 3 point in the quotient, and down we get the number 66. Yes, again 3s will be utilized because 22 3s are 66. As a result, in the quotient we have 3.3. That means here when 72.6 is cancelled by 22, we get the answer 3.3, and we have 3.3 into 7 equals to diameter. And the moment you carry out the multiplication, we are left with, yes, 23.1 as our diameter. Once the diameter is found, the basic formula to find the radius is what? Of course, diameter divided by 2, arithmetic way, d divided by 2, right? Mention the formula the way you are looking on the screen. After that, divide that 23.1 by 2. Here's the one tricky part of it. 23.1 is nothing but 23.10. Okay, the moment you consider 0 at the end after 1, it becomes easier to divide. Of course, see here, the moment you divide 23.10, we get the answer 11.55, and that's what my answer is, correct? Here we go with the next question on the board. That is question number 2. The question is same, the way we are solving last two questions from the table. Here also same pattern we have to follow. Circumference is given to me, that is 176 centimeter, and radius I need to find. Only radius, not the diameter. Okay, so we know if the radius is asked when the circumference is given, there is one formula related to it, right? Which is that formula? Any guesses? Of course you are right, my dears. C equals to 2 pi r. Substitute the value, we get 176 equals to 2 into 22 upon 7 into r. Okay, now what to do? Of course, that 176 and r will be written as it is. After that, shifting will take place. 7 which is there in the denominator will move to the other side of the equality, and that goes in multiplication with 176. So here we are looking on the screen, 176 into 7. After that, that 2 and 22 which are there in the multiplication with radius, okay, they are in multiplication with each other also, and in multiplication with radius also. So both the numbers 2 and 22 will go to the other side in the division, okay, but among each other they will be there in the multiplication only, the way you are looking on the screen. After this, we have 176 into 7 the whole upon 22 into 2 equal to radius, and now time to do the cancellation, right? Any guesses? Of course, here the table of 22, and if you see the table of 22, we can see that In 22's table, 8 we have 176. So cancel 176 and 22. We get 8 as a result. So we have 8 into 7 the whole upon 2, and then again 8 and 2 can be cancelled out, right? So 2 4s are 8. So 4 is there in the numerator. As a result, we have 4 into 7 equal to radius, and back we got the answer. What is the answer now? Yes, we have the answer. R equals to 28, and that's what we were searching for. Don't forget to give unit also for the final answer, because in the question circumference is given in centimeter, right? So we have 28 centimeter as our answer. So my dears, here is the question number 3 on the board. The question says a radius of a garden is given to us, that is 56 meter. There are 4 rounds of wire around the garden used for the fencing, and the cost of wire is 40 per meter. Okay, now my question is, we need to find total cost of this fencing. Okay, before proceeding further, let's see this activity. Boys and girls, consider this ring as a garden as per need of a question. Around this garden, 4 rounds of wires are utilized for fencing, and my question is to find the total cost required for this fencing. Now my first target is to find the length of wire required in one round, and if I am able to find it, then multiply it by 4 so that I can get the total length of wire utilized. Okay, but before that, consider this measuring tape as a fencing wire. If we wrap it around this ring, that is garden, you can say, it will act as one round of the fencing. Okay, and this one round of the fencing is nothing but, presently over here it is equal to the circumference, isn't it right? Yes, in our previous video also I had explained you this. So one round of the fencing wire is nothing but giving you the value of circumference. So if you find the circumference of this garden, that is ring, and multiply it by 4, then you are able to find the total length of wire, and that is what we are going to do in our answer. With the help of activity, we can clearly state that wire used in one round of the fencing is nothing but circumference of that garden. That means एक राउंड में जितनी वायर मैं यूटिलाइज करने वाला हूं, उसकी लेंथ वो उस गार्डन के सर्कमफरेंस की उतनी ही होगी. अब अगर मुझे वायर के 4 राउंड लगाना है, करेक्ट, फेंसिंग फिक्स करना है, तो मुझे क्या करना होगा, मैं सर्कमफरेंस की वैल्यू को 4 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दूंगा. मतलब जो भी आंसर रहेगा, इट विल गिव मी द टोटल वैल्यूज, टोटल लेंथ ऑफ वायर यूटिलाइज फॉर फेंसिंग. सो आई सेड, from the activity we can clearly say that wire required in one round is nothing but the circumference of a garden. So what we are going to do, we will find the circumference of a garden and then multiply it by 4 so that we can get the total length of wire utilized in the 4 round. So here we go with the question, with the answer. So here we have, first of all, the property that we deduced or we understood, wire in one round equals to circumference of a garden. After that, as there are 4 rounds of wire, we can say we have to just multiply 4 into circumference of that garden. So what we have, wire used equals to 4 into, what is the formula for the circumference? Here in the question, radius is given, so of course we will utilize the formula in which a radius is there. What is the formula? Yes, it is 2 pi r. Now substitute the value. We have 4 into 22 upon 7, okay, into 2, and then into radius which is given as 56 meter, right? Once you substitute the value, now my observation should be for the cancellation of the numbers with 7. Okay, so for 7, which number can be cancelled out easily? Yes, it is 56. So 7 8s are 56. So 7 and 56 are cancelled out. As a result, it gives the answer 8. And we have wire used equals to 4 into 2 into 22 into 8. Once you carry out the multiplication, we get the answer 140. It is 1408 meter. Okay, so as we have come across with the total length of wire utilized in 4 rounds, right? Now we have to find the cost of it, right? So what can be done? Observe this or try to analyze this generalization. If a cost of 1 pencil is rupees 2, then how much we have to pay for 10 pencils? It is 20, correct? We did easy multiplication, 10 to the 20. Similarly over here, as we know the total length of wire and cost is given to us, then of course to find the total cost we just have to multiply, right? So cost of wire, okay, utilized is nothing but total length of wire used into cost per meter, and that gives the value what? Yes, 1408 into 40, and that is the, of course, the product is 56,320 rupees. Don't forget to write the final answer, and final answer is the wire utilized in the 4 rounds. The cost of wire utilized in the 4 round is nothing but rupees 56,320. So boys and girls, this is the last question of the exercise on the board. Question number 4. The question says the diameter of the wheel is given to us. The cart is going to complete 1.1 kilometer, and I need to find how many rotations will be completed by that wheel if the cart goes 1.1 kilometer. Very first thing, if you observe the question, write the details the way you are looking on the screen, and now observe the details. What you come to know? Yes, the units of wheel, diameter of the wheel and the distance traveled are not same, right? So my first target is to make these units equal. Now same. What I'm going to do now, that 1.1 kilometer will be converted into meter. How to convert? Is there any guess? Yes, we have to multiply that 1.1 by 1000. Okay. So what we get answer? Is any trick? Of course there is trick to carry out this multiplication. Remove that point, the number will be 11. Now for 1000 there are 3 zeros, right? So mention those 3 zeros on 11. Okay, now check after the decimal point how many digits are there in the question. There is only one digit. Okay, there is 1.1, so only one digit is there after the decimal point. So that for that one digit, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave one digit from right side of 11,000. That makes it 1100.0. Okay, 1100.0 meter. So in short, we have 1100 meter as the distance traveled by that cart. Okay, so the changed question or the modified question is what? Diameter of the wheel is 1.4 meter. The distance traveled by that wheel or the cart is 1100 meter. My question is how many rotations will be completed by that wheel. Before proceeding further, try to understand this activity. Now boys and girls, in this activity we will try to find out how much distance is usually covered by any wheel if it rotates for one round. Okay, so consider this as a wheel. As per the question, consider it as a wheel of a bullock cart. Okay, let's try to find its circumference first of all, and if we wrap it around it, we'll come to know that the circumference is almost 13.5. Okay, so 13.5 can be considered as its circumference. Okay, it is in inches. Now let's try to move this wheel for one round, then see what happens exactly. So this is the measuring tape. I know that the circumference of this wheel is 13.5, right? 13.5. This is the marked position. I'm going to put this on 13.5 exactly, and let's see if it rotates for one round, then what happens exactly. This is 13.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13.5. Okay, and I'm going to firm tightly 13.5. okay, and now let's try to rotate it slowly but steadily. Okay, and if we complete one rotation, to our surprise, it reaches exactly the mark position, reaches the 0 mark. Okay, that means for one rotation for any wheel, the distance covered by it is nothing but the circumference of that wheel. This activity suggests this part, and this only property we are going to utilize for the fourth question, that distance covered by the wheel in one round is nothing but the circumference of the wheel, which will help us to find the number of rotation afterwards. Let's move on. Completing that activity, we can clearly say that distance covered in one round of that wheel is nothing but the circumference of that wheel. Okay, So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find the circumference first, and with the help of that value, I'm going to divide the total distance traveled, that is 1100. Okay, so here we go with the first property, that is distance covered in one rotation is nothing but circumference of a wheel. So that circumference of wheel is nothing but pi d, because diameter is given to me, so formula utilized will be pi d. The value of pi is 22 upon 7, value of a d is 1.4, and now our observation is for the cancellation. So 1.4 and 7 can be striked out, right? The moment you divide 1.4 by 7, don't know how to divide it, here is the answer. The moment you try to divide 1.4 by 7, very first digit is 1, it is not divisible, so I'm going to give 0 in the question, right? 7 zeros are 0, so 1 minus 0, answer will be 1. And now as we are taking 4 down, which is after the decimal point, we have to give decimal point in the quotient also, so that makes it 0 point. Okay, and in the remainder part we have 14. Okay, so what, yes, 7 2s are 14, so 2 will be written in the quotient, that is 0.2, and 14 down in the subtraction, and remainder will be 0 at last. So we have 0.2 as a quotient. That means when you divide 1.4 by 7 or you cancel 1.4 by 7, your answer will be 0.2 that we are looking on the screen. Here we move on. After this, we have to multiply that 0.2 by 22, and that results in 4.4 meter. So in short, distance traveled in one rotation is nothing but 4.4 meter. That is exactly equal to the circumference of that wheel. Now my next target is to find the number of rotation. So the formula for the number of rotation is nothing but like this: number of rotation equals to total distance divided by distance covered in one rotation. Okay, how much is that distance? 4.4. How much is the total distance? 1100. So 1100 divided by 4.4 is on the screen. Now in this ratio or the division, what you can observe, there is a decimal point in the denominator. So my first target is to remove that decimal point. So abracadabra, it is removed. But is there any change seen? Not yet. Check out this. Yes, we have to add 1 0 as we have removed point from the denominator. Why only 1 0? But why can't we add 2 3 zeros or number of zeros? Now if you observe the denominator, we can see that after the decimal point there is only one digit, that is 4, right? So as we are removing decimal point and after point only one digit is there, so we have to add only 1 0 in the numerator. Add means we have to, yes, we have to increase the number of zeros. We have to, actually it is multiplied by 10. Okay, how are we removing that decimal point? We are multiplying numerator and the denominator both by 10. Just to avoid the steps, we are doing it directly by adding 0. So that blue colored 0 is nothing but the 0 added or 0 written after the multiplication, or 0 that we received after the multiplication by 10. Okay, so what we have in short, we have 11,000 divided by 44, and I'm very sure that you know how we got that that extra 0 over there. Okay, after this, the normal division. Here is the table of 44 on the screen. 44 will be written outside and 11,000 will be inside. If you observe the table, we are going to utilize 2s first of all, that is 44 2s are 88. So 2 in the quotient, 88 in the subtraction, and after subtraction we get the answer 22, right? The next 0 will be taken down. Okay, what we get? 220. Yes, 220 is there in the 44's table. It is 44 5s are 220. Okay, so find the quotient, 220 in the subtraction part. After subtraction we get the answer 0, and still we are left with 1 0, that is blue color 1 0, right? Extra 0. The moment you take down that 0, in 44's table, zeros are 0, right? We can directly write that 0 in the quotient, and that gives the answer 250. So in short, that wheel is going to make 250 rotations. Yes, to cover 1100 meter, and this is what we were in need of, right? So in short, we have completed this exercise 42. If you have any doubt in this lesson or in this exercise, you can ask me anytime, but do not forget to drop it down first of all in the comment section below so that I can reply to it. Till then, see ya and bye bye.